Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Brooke from Large Family Homestead, and this is probably another one of our more requested videos. So for those of you that are new here, we own a dairy cow. We actually own multiple cows, but only one of them is producing milk right now. Her name is Marigold. She's a 5-year-old brown Swiss Jersey cow. And she's been giving us an average of 5 gallons a day. So that means we have 35 gallons of milk a week to use and process the way that we need to. Now, obviously, we cannot drink and cook with all of this milk, which is, even though a large portion of our milk goes to just drinking it, because a lot of us will drink milk every day, and using it in cooking, we have to do other things with it. So I'm going to show you all of the things that we do with our milk. This may give you guys some ideas, it may give you some inspiration, or if you've been considering how you're going to use all of the milk that you get when you own a dairy cow, here are some great ideas. So this first one I'm going to show is making butter. Now there are a few different ways to make butter. My go-to method is just to put it in my stand mixer. That seems to be the easiest way to process butter in my case. You can just shake it in a jar by hand, but I find that this takes too long and you have to do it in really small batches. You can also get a butter churner, but I haven't felt the need to invest in one yet. So it's in the KitchenAid mixer right now. It's gonna mix and I'm gonna slowly keep turning it up, and pretty much you're just gonna keep beating it until the butter fat and the butter milk separates. And then another thing that we like to do with our milk is we make yogurt. And we could make yogurt probably 3 to 4 times a week sometimes. It's just a really easy thing to do. If you have an Instapot, yogurt making is so easy. There's almost nothing to learn. As long as your Instapot has the yogurt function, you can make yogurt in your Instapot. Now, today I'm only using a quart of milk because at the point that I was making this video, I was still trying to activate my new culture, my yogurt culture. So I had a Bulgarian yogurt culture from Cultures for Health. I'm going to leave that link down below for you all, but it has been an awesome culture. It has now been some time after taping this video, and it is still in very good health, and I'm all the way up to 3/4 of a gallon with it and still growing. It comes out really thick and tangy and just delicious. So to make yogurt in your Instapot, I have a video on our channel. I'll also leave that link down below. Another thing that we like to do is make cheese, and right here in this big stock pot, I am going to make cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheese is something that we started doing recently this year, and so far we haven't made a lot of it because it's been a lot of trial and error, trying to figure out the best ways to age it, which, by the way, if y'all are interested, I have a video coming out soon on vacuum seal aging versus wax aging of cheese. And we're going to blind taste test it and tell y'all how we feel about it. I'm going to rate it by ease and the time that it took to do it and the cost of it. So if y'all want that long, in-depth video, make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button down below. So making cheddar cheese, again, another really easy process. It actually wasn't quite as hard as I thought. And I'll leave that link down below too. So here's the butter after a few minutes of getting everything started. It starts to turn into a whipped cream first, and then it turns into a butter. It turns into whipped cream, and then it starts to liquefy again. So I don't remember the exact size of my KitchenAid mixer. I'll put it up on screen, but I do a 1/2 gallon of cream at a time, and as you can see, this is definitely the max because it was just up at the top of the bowl a second ago. So this is after a few more minutes. I had to scrape everything down, and it's just whipping again, but it's still sort of whipped cream. It just has worked its way down again, so it's not quite as fluffy as it was before. So the great thing about making cheese too is you normally only need a few ingredients. So for cheddar cheese, you're gonna need this starter culture, and you're gonna need liquid rennet, as well as milk, obviously. At this point, I have heated up my milk to the right temperature. I'm gonna add this starter culture in and let it ripen for a little while. So the packets that I bought came from cheesemaking.com. It's where I get most of my cheese making stuff. It's where I got my cheese press. Absolutely love it. I'm going to leave everything linked down below. The culture, the rennet, the cheese press, everything that you might need to make cheddar cheese. I'm leaving it linked down below. As well as I also have a discount code for their site. So if you want that too, it'll be down below. So right here, I am cutting the curds on some mozzarella cheese. And if you're new to cheese making, I definitely recommend starting with mozzarella and softer cheeses first before getting into the harder cheeses like cheddar. So with mozzarella, you actually need less. You need citric acid and rennet. I also have a recipe for this on our site. It takes 30 minutes. You can use the recipe with pasteurized milk or raw milk, and as you can see, it turns out really well. So right here, I'm just in the process, like I said, of cutting those curds before heating them and straining them. And this is going to make a beautiful, stretchy mozzarella that can be used on pizzas. It can be used in recipes. It can be used to top lasagna, salad. The possibilities are literally endless. And now back to the butter. This is after I've taken it out of the mixer and separated the butter fat from the buttermilk. And yes, this does make a huge mess in your kitchen, and I only recommend it if you've time to clean it afterwards. So all that white stuff you see everywhere is all the buttermilk. I didn't quite catch the mixer in time when it started splashing it everywhere. And then that yellow block there is butter, and I'm just like squeezing the rest of that buttermilk out. I'm adding some salt, which will help drain it even more. And then I'm going to rinse it. I'm going to shape it. I'm going to wrap it in parchment, and I freeze it. I always freeze homemade butter until we're actually ready to use it, because homemade butter does not last long. Even if you get all the buttermilk out, I still haven't had it last longer than like a week. And this is a good thing. It means that it's real food and it just doesn't last because there's no preservatives in it. But I highly recommend freezing it in very small blocks and only taking it out when you're ready to use it. And how much butter you're going to get off of how much cream you're using is going to depend on the cow, the diet, her age, how long it's been since she's had a baby. So the butter fat on the milk, it's a lot of different factors, and I can't give you an exact number. So one thing that we love to do with yogurt is make frozen yogurt. And if you have an ice cream maker, you can do this no problem. So once your yogurt's done, all you really need to do is dump your yogurt in your ice cream maker and then just add whatever else you want. So you can add sweeteners like sugar, honey, sucanat. Normally, I like to add a little vanilla extract in there for some flavor. If you want to make it chocolate frozen yogurt, you can add some cocoa powder. You can add some frozen fruit, some chocolate chips. Again, possibilities are endless, and this is such a sweet frozen treat. And personally, I think it's easier than making homemade ice cream, because a lot of times homemade ice cream still doesn't come out thick, whereas this frozen yogurt pretty much always comes out nice and thick, because like the yogurt consistency is pretty much always the same. So it pretty much just came out like soft frozen yogurt. And tonight's batch, we added vanilla extract, a little bit of honey, and blueberries. It was so good. Everyone absolutely loves this. I need to make it more often, but I don't always get around to it. This is also a great recipe for picky eaters and kids, because it can be customized to the ways that they like it, and it's much healthier than anything store-bought or even homemade ice cream, because it has all those extra cultures. So here is us just waxing that cheddar that I showed you I was making earlier. So obviously this is days later, because with cheddar cheese, you have to make it, then you have to press it, and then you have to let it sit out until it develops a natural rind. Then you can wax it and age it. So this is where we're at the waxing stage now. And again, I do have a video coming out about this. So this is just like some footage that I took for that, a little like sneak peek for y'all. So far, I'm not going to spoil anything on whether I like waxing or vacuum sealing better. Some other things that we do with the milk that I didn't get the chance to show in this video is we also like to make cottage cheese, ricotta cheese, and a couple of other like different cheeses and things. I have dabbled in making cream cheese, but haven't quite perfected it yet. So let me know if you guys have any ideas down in the comments below of what else we can do to use our milk. I would also like to know if there's anything specific you want to see from us, any specific recipes or processes that you would like to see in more detail. Otherwise, thanks y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video out, and make sure you guys go check that description for my favorite products. I'll have a discount code for you guys down there, as well as all the other recipes that we have on our channel so far. And we'll see y'all soon. Bye!